Hi, I'm Madison, and this is pretty much my self-harm story. And I'm making this video just to let everybody who does this now that there is someone who cares about you and that you're not alone. Because I know that when I did this, I thought that I was alone and that nobody cared about me, and just I would just go back into my little corner and I don't know, I guess like self-pity and stuff like that, which is really selfish and stuff like that. But um I'm just going to get right into it because it is a pretty long story. Um, so, I first started having suicidal thoughts when I was in 6th grade. Um, right after 2 kids committed suicide and 1 attempted suicide in my school district. Um, I had suicidal thoughts right after that. I don't know why, but I guess it was just like the thing that was going around now, or then, or whenever. But I only told, I think I only told 2 people that I had suicidal thoughts in 6th grade. This kid who sat in front of me in history class, and this guy I went to church with. The only reason the kid in history class knew is because he sat in front of me and we passed notes the whole time. And, yeah, just talked because history was boring. Still is. But the things that led me up to cut myself the first time was bullying, basically. Just this girl that I thought I was really, really good friends with, she started coming up to me every time she saw me and said, "Hey, you're gonna die alone. You're never gonna find someone. Nobody likes you." And just stuff like that. She would tell me that every time she saw me, and I don't really think I told anybody that, but, well, obviously I am now, but, yeah. I would get made fun of in 6th grade for looking the way I did, for my faith in what I believed, and I got pushed down and just called I got made fun of for my weight too. And I still am, like, really fat and big and stuff, and it's disgusting to be around, and I know that. So, trying to fix that. Pretty much because of what happened in 6th grade, because I would get bullied for it, and I would actually skip lunch, because skip lunch and breakfast and barely eat dinner because I didn't want to be that kid anymore, and they always got made fun of for how they looked and how much they weighed, and I was never a fast runner anyway, so that didn't make it any better. I mean, my friend in history was also the skinniest, fastest runner ever that I've ever seen, and he was actually really encouraging. He was like, whenever I would run my laps in gym, he'd be like, "Yeah." That made me feel better about myself. But he was a really good friend, and I'm telling you now that what I did caused me to lose that friendship, and it's really, really bad. So, I got off subject, but who cares? Anyways, so, yeah, I would get made fun of a lot in 6th grade, but never really tell anybody because, well, when I did, they would just be like, "Oh, stop, you're just being selfish. Not everything has to be about you." And I was like, I'm not. Just these kids were making fun of me, and they said everybody gets bullied. And in the summer, um, I started listening to these really depressing songs, and I was on Uvu one night. This is the first time that I cut myself, actually. I was on Uvu talking to some friends, and I actually was listening to that song. I put a bullet in my head and I'm gone. Yeah, that's how it went. I'm not going to tell you the name of it though. So, I was on Uvu and I was listening to that song and I got the really strong urge to cut myself for the first time just to see what it was like. Because in 6th grade we would play Scorpion and all these games. It's like hurting yourself and others, and it was just really bad. But the first time I cut, I do remember this. I was listening to that song and I was on Uvu and I was like, I'm tired of being that kid, and if I'm gonna be that kid, I'm going to take my anger out on something. So I knew I couldn't take it out on them because, of course, I would be the one that got in trouble. So I took it out on myself, and my first cuts were like just scratches, nothing big. They go away in a day, I think. But before I cut, I asked myself, do you really want to do this and start this chapter in your life? And I thought, no, I don't. But then I just sat there and I started thinking about how they hate me, how they pushed me down, how they told me I was going to die alone, and how I seriously thought I was going to die alone already. And they kind of just like embraced that. Hearing it from somebody else is just kind of like, okay, that hurts, especially someone you thought you were friends with. It hurts a lot. But I said no first, and then I looked back on all that stuff, and I was like, yeah, I do. And I cut up my arm, and it, like I said, scratches first, and then every cut gets deeper, every single one. The last time I cut, I'm just going to fast forward to 7th grade. The first day I went back, I saw my friends who were cussing and stuff like that, and I walked up to them and I said hi, and they were cussing and listening to music that was bad, and I decided that I was not going to be the same kid I was in 6th grade because I didn't want to get bullied anymore. So I said, hey, and then the B word, which I don't really feel like saying now. They just stopped their music and they're like, did you just cuss? And I said, yes, and that got me into the group. And we did pretty bad stuff. We pushed boys into girls' bathrooms. We just didn't wear dress code because we had dress code, and we didn't wear dress code. We didn't do, well, we went to athletics and stuff like that, but we didn't really put effort into it, and most of the time we just didn't dress out because we forgot our gym clothes. But, yeah, I decided that I wasn't going to be that kid, and come to find out, they all cut themselves. I'm like, wow, I'm in a group that really accepts me for who I am. And I figured out later, I was in a loser group. I really was. And the last time I cut myself, and I want it to be my last time forever, my friend came over and we were just hanging out, and then when she left the next morning, I was like, wow, I'm really nothing without people that I know, and I'm a failure in life, and everything that I heard in 6th grade started coming back, and 7th grade too. Hey, you're emo, you cut yourself. Look at that emo over there. and I actually skipped lunch every day in 7th grade. I didn't eat lunch or breakfast because, once again, didn't want to be that kid in 6th grade who was really fat, and I lost a little bit of weight doing that. But I still have a lot more to go. But this time, it was so much deeper. It was like there was blood down my whole arm, and it was terrible. And I wore this glove to cover it up. And I said to myself, I'm not going to let my parents find out about this. I am going to act like a really happy kid, even though I'm dying inside. And I will not make them think that I did this to myself. Well, of course that didn't work, because they noticed I was wearing a glove, and they said, hey, take off your glove and show me your wrist. And I was like, crap. Made it 24 hours, and that's it. I noticed I'm really bad at hiding things. But pretty much that whole night was so terrible because they threatened to send me to mental hospitals. They threatened to call the police on me for like self-harming or something like that. And my mom threatened to leave again, and it was terrible. And pretty much I'm just trying to say, don't make that first cut, because you are going to get addicted and you won't want to stop, and you will think it is cool, and it's not. It's really a terrible thing to do, and I really hope if you're on the edge of making that first cut that you won't, because it will change your life forever. I'm homeschooled now because I did that. Because the people that I was hanging out with, I couldn't get away from them. I made a choice that will forever change my life. And honestly, I think I get teased more now than I did in 7th grade, because I'm the girl who can handle stuff. But I just want to tell you that you're not alone, and that cutting yourself or suicide is not the answer at all. And I lost so many friendships along the way, and it won't ever be the same. I honestly wish that day of 7th grade that I would have chosen to be my old self, because I got approached by so many people saying I liked the old Madison better. There was actually a group of people that came up to me and they told me that. So if you're thinking about making that first cut, please don't, because it's not worth wasting your whole life. Anyways, I hope you found this video helpful, and if you didn't, then, well, you just got to hear another person's story.